instance in a row after the agenda was posted, and it does require immediate action by the board to get the rail repaired. And so we are asking the board to add this as an action item. So it would be item 4A. And just as a reminder, in order to add this to the agenda, 4 of you have to vote to add it. And so we ask that you would do that as part of the approval of the agenda.
So I'll make a motion to add item 4A for Rail Tracks Works Emergency Railroad Track Service Repair.
Second.
Motion.
Got a second? Director.
Roll calls.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what I was headed to. Director Ballantyne.
Yeah.
Aye. Aye. Director Coco.
Aye.
Director Hanson.
Aye.
Director Parker.
Aye.
Director Allred. Aye.
Thank you.
Now I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of item 4A.
Second. Director Ballantyne.
Aye.
Director Coco. Director Hanson.
Aye.
Director Parker.
Aye.
Director Allred. Aye. Approved. So we are now at the action. The rail item, action item A.
No, committee.
Sorry.
announcement.
Oh, okay.
Good. Director, this is our last meeting before the event, which will be on the 13th. And we are still looking an ornament in, and we should have about 50 trees right now. So, yep. 50. So we are 10 over our goal of 40. So we're off to a good start. And from what I hear, everybody's anticipating the biggest crowd ever this year. So, but if you know anybody that's looking to volunteer or come to watch, enjoy a Christmas event, please come and join us. Okay. And that's it, unless you have any questions. Nope.
Thanks, Lynn. Any other community announcements?
If I may, board members, and it's unfortunate Ariel is otherwise tasked right now because she really should have addressed. So she kind of honchoed and put together these, and she reached out to our local first responders.
Oh,
so
nice.
Between Highway Patrol, Fire, all our local teammates, very unfortunately to send anyone. They had a very full Thanksgiving. But last I heard, I believe it was 24 people.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner. Just before that, we caught 3 757s here
Yes,
that
at night.
created a very demanding day, along with all this. So Mojave Air and Spaceport was very happy to assist in hosting most of the entree items for that Thanksgiving meal for the community.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. To do this or
It's
do
up
it
to
now?
you.
I'll just do it now.
Okay.
Plain Crazy Saturday will be held December 20th, and our speaker is Doug Shane. And we always try to reserve December to celebrate the flight of Voyager, which was 39 years ago this month. Took off from Edwards December 23rd. 9 days, 44 seconds. Actually flew to Africa commercial, rented a Beach Baron, and flew up and met up with Voyager, checked the outside of the airplane, and Voyager couldn't keep up with the Baron. So he kept slowing the Baron down. He finally stalled. But anyway, he knew how to recover from a stall. So he's got some great stories to tell. And Kelly Hall will be here with the book that she wrote with Dick called The Next 5 Minutes. And it covers, of course, the flight of Voyager and some of his other adventures. And I was talking to Kelly and I said, can you imagine his mother? I mean, all of the different things that he did and being in Vietnam and getting shot down but take a special mom to raise the Rutan boys. So hope you can make it. I never know what kind of a crowd I'm going to have. But if it's a beautiful day, we may be overrun with people.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Is Gianna Yeager?
Gina?
Gina?
Yeah.
Any relationship to Chuck?
No relation to Chuck Yeager. No.
All right, so, all right, so we're on to action items.
Consent.
Consent? Oh, consent agenda. Oh, I thought we covered that when we, items, never mind. All right, so consent agenda. We have staff recommends all items, A, B, and C, B1 vote. Do I have a,
Motion to approve after public comment. No public comment for consent.
okay. Yeah, dang it. Quit confusing me.
I'll second.
Director Ballantyne.
Did you get public comment?
Yeah. Yeah, no public comment on this.
Okay, I can't see the other direction, so.
Director Cook.
Aye.
Director Hanson.
Aye.
Director Parker.
Aye.
Director Allred. Aye.
We're out of control.
I know. Good thing the holidays come. Up.
I know.
All right. Unanimous.
I'm still in the turkey coma.
Action items. A, the railway.
Floyd will.
Boy, I was gonna give us a skinny on this.
Afternoon, directors. I will do my best to walk through this best I can. Approximately 11 o'clock yesterday morning, which is Monday, December 1st, I received a phone call from Progress Rail, who was attempting to push cars north from their leasehold down on Kennicott. That they had indicated that they had derailed ones.
Oh.
I arrived moments later and had found that they had one car that had derailed. The wheels had jumped the tracks just north of the Inyo intersection.
Yeah.
And upon further investigation, found out that there was approximately 400 feet of rail that had failed north of Inyo, just south of the crossing behind the GA area. What we determined was that the damage was not actually sustained yesterday. It took place on November 25th when Progress was pulling approximately 12 loaded cars south from the laydown yard down to their leasehold down on Kennicott. There's a bend in the rail right as the rail crosses Belshaw after the pavement, which is where the cars derailed, and then they pulled 400 feet south, and somehow, as our rail inspector said, they should have bought a lottery ticket, re-railed again when they hit the switch at Inyo.
Really?
So the reason it was uncovered yesterday was because all of the cars were re-railed and on the rail after the 25th, and then they did not attempt to push back out until the 1st,
Yeah.
which, as I started with, that's where they crossed Inyo and then derailed again.
Did the rail roll or did it have a bend in it?
The east rail of that section that heads north and south, the east rail is closest to building 10, completely rolled over. And so the last car on that string of 12 cars drug 400 feet with both sets of trucks off of the rail and across the ties.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it folded that east section over and it's completely bent and unusable. And then 49 ties approximately that it broke as it continued to drag south. So at this time, we're unsure of what caused it to derail, and that's still under investigation. Upon my arrival, I immediately called our track inspector, Railworks, and they came out, reviewed the damage, and put together the quote that you see in front of you, which is one of the difficulties in repairing that rail. In that section of 400 feet, there are date stamps of 1907, 1912, 1919, and 1946. And the dates jump around because as we've had to repair things, we've been guilty of robbing other areas on the airport that are abandoned and reusing those parts. It's exceedingly difficult to find 75 pound rail, which is what we have. The current standard is 136 pounds per foot, and we're at 75 per foot. And much of that rail is from the early 1900s. So in order to get 400 feet, we're going to have to upgrade that to the 136 pound rail. And so what we are asking is that the board approve the CEO to authorize emergency repairs not to exceed $327,000, which is not a budgeted item.
Where's the money coming from?
Well, at this point, it'll just come from our reserves. We're going to do our mid-year revision, and so we'll have to reassess everything at that point. Kind of if there's any CIP items that we haven't started, that maybe we can put on the back burner, but we'll have to just reassess, because since this is kind of an emergency repair, well, it's going to be an improvement, then we'll kind of reassess at that point.
Are they gonna redo both sides of that section with the new heavier rail, or just one side?
No, that complete 400 feet will both in west rails, all new tie. It will be 400 foot of brand new infrastructure. We actually have to remove all of that, take the ballast out. They're going to regrade that, recompact, put new ballast, all new ties, all new components in.
I wonder if all that rain we got contributed to that. I'm sure it did.
That is something that we're definitely looking into.
Plus it's 100 and some years old.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Is there insurance involved with this, either from Progress or ours?
So we do have rail insurance, which Carrie and I have spoken to the insurance provider. They are typically, the rail insurance covers damage caused by the derailment, either to the goods that are being transported or if it were to damage property owned by others. But there may be a potential of a claim. We just don't have that answer yet.
All right. Well, I think it is a good idea. In fact, in my thoughts before you mentioned it was, if we could upgrade that to the 135 pound or whatever you said, because eventually I think we will need to do the whole airport. So bite-sized pieces is easier than one whole package. That's all I have to say.
I suspect there's not a lot of companies that repair rail, but is there anybody else that you know that will give us a bid quickly?
That I know of locally quickly, I don't, but I'm not going to allege that we couldn't find one. It is a specialized area.
Sure, yeah.
Are we bound to keep that rail open for RailX as part of the lease agreement?
Yeah, and Loop is still using it as well, right?
Yes, up in the down yard, not down this far.
So the only person we have using it down this far is RailX.
It's Progress.
Progress Rail.
Yeah.
Used to be real
What
nice.
kind of revenue do we make off of Progress Rail per year?
It's about 400,000 a year.
Okay.
So what kind of-
Is there a
do
fee
we-
we charge Progress for the rail?
At this time, we don't have a fee for them using the rail.
Because there is an annual or biannual maintenance or certification, isn't there involved with that? I mean, there's other costs associated with keeping it up to
There are other costs associated with maintenance and inspection of it, yes.
Okay.
And there is the possibility of them contributing to the restructuring of the rail.
So we're gonna have to determine what caused the derailment when we know what caused it, then we'll have an idea of whether they will contribute or not.
Who will make that determination? It will be, Railworks? As far as what the cause was?
We can certainly ask them to give us an assessment. I've also reached out to Mead and Hunt to see if that they have an engineering division of Mead and Hunt that specializes in rail, that we could possibly get an engineer that's their specialty to evaluate the situation.
Yeah.
Whose cars are involved in that length of track? The cars that are out there now, currently.
Cars that are out there now are all operated by Progress, but I do not believe that some of those belong to their customers, I believe. I don't believe that they are specifically Progress's assets.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I got a question. Looking forward in the future, do you anticipate or see any possible need to eventually upgrade the whole rail from our fence line on in to the 135 that might benefit heavier loads or, the larger engines or anything like that? Or is it pretty much justified what we have?
I believe at some point we are going to be forced to upgrade the entire rail spur to newer 136 pound rail.
Okay. The reason I mentioned that might be something that Dave or staff wants to put on the stove as far as anticipating possible grants, because that is a major part of our business, bringing customers' loads in off the rail that could help us out in the future. I kind of think there is too. It's kind of why I asked it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's, it's something we've already initiated, potential for federal budget line items, with Vince Fong's office, under transportation initiatives. We're also looking into the status of the, National Railway Trust Fund, seeing if we may be able to tap into that, similar to what we get AIP dollars from on the, under the Airport and Airway Improvement Fund.
That's good.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So we're investigating multiple different things, but in the near term, we need to move out on this repair.
Yeah, and I'm good with that.
So we need a vote. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve the Progress Rail emergency repair. I shouldn't say the rail repair.
A second.
I'll second it.
All right, Director Valentine,
Aye.
Director Krogel,
Aye.
Director Hanson,
Hi.
Director Parker,
Nay.
yay. And Director All is a yay. So we have 4 A's, 1 nay. Motion approved.
Who was the nay?
It's Director Parker.
Voted no? Okay.
You want to speak to us as to why?
I have more questions about the revenue it creates, having all that expensive rail in there that's 100 and some years old. And what it's
Oh.
costing us, it's costing us 156,000, or what's the total bill? Because you have scope of
Three.
work, priority
Three.
1, priority 2, so
something.
$320,000 roughly for a piece of property we lease out for 400. And how often are we going to have these problems? Because the rest of that rail's 100 years old too. So we're basically this year we're losing money on that property.
They're not the only ones that use the track though.
They're the only ones that use it this far back.
Well, this far back.
So that's my justification. And why aren't we charging Progress Rail some sort of upkeep on this rather than just, you know, we have probably $1 million piece of rail that they're the only ones using it. And then that's why is the no vote. I want to see more information and payback on this over time. And when our lease is up with Progress Rail, to include some sort of maintenance fee for these rails because they're the only ones using it. That's my question on my nay vote.
All right.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, so we move on to reports. Director of Administration.
Yep, good afternoon. These are the reports for the month of October. Bank balance decreased 212,000. That was, we paid some of the insurance policies that go for the year, so that's just front loaded. Operating revenue is at 34%. Operating expenses are at 32%. Fuel sales was 156,000 gallons. On the AR for the Dale Lusby Dean Sosta account, a little update since the report was issued. They did come in and make the payment for the past amount that we had posted on the aircraft, and then also pay the November payment. So at this point, they're off the 90 days and had paid off the posted amount due. Emerald Warrior, they did email us last week and saying that it is in the final steps for approving for payment. The government shutdown did cause a little bit slowage on that. And then CAL FIRE, Lynn is continuing to work on them. They're in the process of signing a new lease. And so that's what the holdup is on their payment for their access license. Once they get the new lease signed and inked, then they'll be able to process all the payments at the same time. Fitness Center is at 818 members.
Awesome. All right, Dr. Smith, you're on.
Oh, good afternoon, board members. Couple of things to highlight. One quick walk on. I had a very good tour for members of the California State University Bakersfield MBA staff out here. So we brought them out and showed them the entire property, talked the business case of Mojave Air and Spaceport more than the glamour of the aerospace side of things, really understanding the business concepts that take place here. They're extremely appreciative, and I think that's a valuable interface to maintain. Auriga Space is in negotiation with us now for a very unique parcel. They're looking for something about 1.5 miles long, by about 300 meters, maybe a little wide, doing hypersonic track testing using an electrified system. So Floyd is working very closely with them. We've recently interfaced them with SoCal Edison, as they will have some certain very unique power demands. And it may even work out well to hatch them in with one of the recent microgrid providers that have been visiting us fairly regularly. Lancaster West Rotary Club spoke there yesterday, furthering that partnership with the local community. It is very surprising how many people that have been in this aerospace valley a long time have no idea what Mojave Air and Space does, which is very
amazing.
surprising. Continuing our relationship with the California Space Cluster, had that meeting earlier today and had one last week as well. They are people who came out and used the Stewart Center recently for their surge event, working on certain government contracts that, if acquired, will hopefully secure space at Mojave to move forward. Participating closely with Cal State University Bakersfield again in their engineering department. I sit now on their board of governors, and we contribute to them, making certain that we are aligned in the long term to provide that academic resource that will funnel people to largely not us specifically, but our mission partners here, the right talent for scaled composite, right talent for vast aerospace, and providing that caliber of students here is quite important. Next week, I'll be at ICAS, furthering those relationships. And then the walk-on item is, these guys can be really good. I got an email on my phone that basically said I needed to DocuSign something, and went into DocuSign it, and it said, as we're transitioning our system, hey, we need you to log back into your account on your phone. And I have corrupted how many email accounts here now, because that was a phishing
You
attempt.
locked mine out.
That was very successful. Right, they got me. And I got to tell you, I think I'm an extremely careful computer user. I did not a single red flag went off of my head when that came in. This is something I do
Oh, my
all the
goodness.
time.
Is this the same one?
Yeah, and transitioning accounts at the same time. We've been having problems with our iPhone interface with the new service we have on our desktops. Yeah, they got me. So my apologies if I got you. So
I don't know. Mine's still working.
Just don't click on anything. If you got anything from David.
Okay.
it said in
It just
the
came in
letter
today.
you should receive, or the email you should receive from me, says something about invoices pending, or you're receiving invoices. If you click on that, it will ask you for your password so you can view your invoice. I didn't send you any invoices.
Mm.
At
Yikes.
least this David Smith did not send you any.
Oh, dear.
And subject to your questions, board members.
I was just going to make a comment about SpaceX. I just read today they launched their 600th and some change rocket from Vandenberg, either yesterday or this morning, to show you the volume of rockets that are going up here now. And like you said, the Coastal Commission, I think, denied them doubling their capacity. That's pretty amazing that it's so routine now that we've had 600 launches and nobody blinks an eye at it.
So it is amazing. We did have a meeting with SpaceX leadership to talk about partnering with us on the 450 process. At this point, they don't believe that the Coastal Commission will hold any weight. They think the federal government is going to trump them and that they will have no interruption in launches.
No pun
They-
intended.
They are very respectful of the capabilities we bring, and they wish us well. They just want to pursue their own agenda right now, the
Yep.
way they have it structured.
Are you thinking that they could do a vertical launch from here?
Yes,
Really?
yes. So, single stage to orbit was the X-33 project done not far from here, right by AFRL, through the California Space Commission and the FAA. That program, which was a Lockheed Martin NASA program, had vertical launch approval and the apogees all done. What I'd like to do is benchmark those apogees. I believe we can intercept them logically from here. We do have a lot of things that fall in our favor, the 2508 complex.
Right.
The fact that we are in the desert and things are minimally manned around here. And the meetings that we have previously had with the FAA have been, the FAA fully acknowledges that their current guidance is very, very restrictive. They also understand that the access to space technology has changed, and the fear of rockets falling out of the sky left and right into people's backgrounds is largely unfounded. It's a proven system. They also fully acknowledge that the basic economies and the national interest from a government preservation perspective is going to go up tremendously. And frankly, if we think Vandenberg and Canaveral can scratch the itch of everything, especially if we get in a hostility environment, we will simply have to diversify our space access. So, so a long answer to your question is yes. And we are pursuing it. We're in the early phases of doing it. It is an FAA 450 process, quite similar to our horizontal launch, just much more in depth. And Ariel's been doing the Lord's work with mission partners to make certain that we're very, very aligned as we move forward. So what we don't want to do is move forward and break glass. We don't want to move forward and make expenditures that don't have an ROI. So we're going to take this a step at a time and walk before we run here.
Any other questions?
No.
We have no board committees. We move on to 6, director comments,
I got one.
not on the agenda.
Looking at it from this perspective, the camera that I'm looking at all of you on needs to be raised up a little little bit. All I see behind you is Aaron's Spaceport at Rutan Field. I don't see the Mojave logo. That's over Terry and Kathy's head. Now, maybe you see it on your side, but from my perspective in the Zoom meeting, I don't see it.
Jimmy?
Yeah?
I'll talk to Jason.
My view is perfectly fine. I see all of you.
Do you?
Yes.
Let me make an adjustment here. No,
Well, you see us all, you just don't see the whole,
I don't. That logo at the top of my screen, so maybe it's something I can change. No. Anyway, it's just a comment, so maybe I can have Jason adjust something on the computer. I'm not a Zoom expert, so. Anyway, that's all I have.
all righty. All right, we proceed to closed session at this point. We will invite everybody to leave and then come back at a
Bless you.
later moment.
Bless you. Bless you again.
Bless you.